18.6. Just don't fall in love. The agreement that never works and the evolution that always happens. A scenario I see constantly in couples who begin their journey in polyamory through swinging, light fun, transactional encounters where everyone is in the same room and everyone feels safe. Swinging often works beautifully because the emotional parameters feel contained. When you're doing everything together, there isn't much room for jealousy or individuation. Your team, a unit, a two-person spaceship exploring other planets together. But relationships, people, and desire all evolve. And what felt balanced and easy in the swinger phase often becomes strained in the moment partners start dating separately, because they have different needs and desires, and they evolve into different people over time. They have different sexual erotic blueprints, and for that reason, different things turn them on. Separate dating does something swinging never does. It invites emotion. If you decide to evolve your relationship into separate dating, this can invite new insecurities and new jealousy. When you do things together as a swinger couple, the encounters tend to be more transactional. They're more fun or light. But when you start dating separately, it invites attachment. It invites vulnerability. It invites conversations that go deeper than, what are your boundaries tonight? And yes, it invites love. Separate dating blows the doors open. And the first time your partner falls in love with someone else, that is often the moment jealousy stops being theoretical and starts becoming bodily, raw, surprising, and sometimes terrifying. You don't get to decide how your partner's heart responds to a person they find nourishing, exciting, inspiring, or disarming in ways that you didn't predict. So the real question becomes, how will you manage that? How will you manage your feelings of being threatened? How will you manage your fears of the relationship ending or losing your status as the primary partner? These are things to definitely talk through with your therapist and to potentially journal about and write down. Fuck up. I never said you could fall in love. Julia was perfectly content in her primary relationship until her husband, Justin, fell in love with someone else. It wasn't part of their agreements. In fact, their agreements explicitly stated that romantic attachment was off limits. This common pitfall serves as a warning. Be careful when setting agreements about falling in love. Matters of the heart cannot be controlled, and attempts to do so often backfire. So when Justin's feelings deepened, Julia felt blindsided, betrayed, threatened. She kept asking herself, how could he? We agreed on this. But that's the trap. You can negotiate rules about behavior. You can negotiate rules about emotional experience. You cannot negotiate rules about emotional experience. Matters of the heart don't listen to checklists. Trying to restrict love will almost always backfire because love is not the problem. Secrecy is. Shame is. Fear is. Not tending to the primary relationship is. Pretending you're fine when you're not is. Exercise. How will you respond? If and when your partner falls in love with someone else, your task isn't to control the feeling. It's to navigate your reaction. Take yourself through the following prompts. Will you interpret this as abandonment, a threat, a downgrade in your importance? Or can you treat it as data about where connection, security, and individuation need tending? These feelings are great, and they are survivable. However, it's essential to address these feelings, potentially with a therapist or through journaling. Building connection with metamors. One of the most stabilizing things you can do in your relationship as your relationship evolves is invest in knowing your metamors, the people your partner loves. This isn't required in polyamory, but it often softens jealousy in ways that nothing else can. When you care about your metamors, when you see their humanity, their tenderness, their quirks, and their love for your partner, it reframes your entire dynamic. If your partner falls in love, it's much easier when the person they love cares about you too. I once told a friend that if my husband ever chose to leave me for someone else, it would mean that he had found the kind of love I couldn't offer, and I would want him to have it. Not because I want to lose him, but because I want him to live fully. That conversation changed how I experienced jealousy in profound ways and reinforced for me that love is not finite, that abundance doesn't diminish what I already have. If you're navigating shock, sting, or slow unraveling that can happen when a partner falls in love with someone else, you're not meant to do that work all alone. One of the most stabilizing forces in open relating is your relationship with the people your partner loves. The chapter Metamor Love goes deeper into how connection with metamors can transform jealousy into trust, threat into curiosity, and isolation into an actual support system. If falling in love is inevitable, learning to relate with their lovers is what makes the whole system stronger, not shakier. Tools for self-soothing. Managing jealousy requires both inner work and relational support. The polyamory model frames this beautifully. Soothe yourself first, then communicate second. When jealousy hits, your nervous system is usually the first thing to go offline. Before asking your partner to fix anything, try grounding yourself. Once the intensity settles, that's the moment to talk, to ask, what actually got touched here? What am I afraid of? Where does this story come from? What would help me to feel safe again? Jealousy doesn't mean something is wrong with you or your relationship. It means something inside you needs tending. Exercise, strategies for managing jealousy. Use this exercise after jealousy has surfaced, not in the moment of panic, but once you've regulated enough to think clearly again. Number 1, soothe your nervous system. When intense jealousy arises, use physical or distracting techniques to calm down your body and mind. Use comforting touch like a warm blanket or a partner's embrace. Try humming, singing, or making the om sound. Hold an ice pack to your neck or pet an animal. Distract yourself with something positive like a comforting movie, a hobby, or a new video game. 2, explore the root. Once you are calm, try to understand what is triggering your feelings. Jealousy often stems from insecurity or fear. Explore your own fears about loss or inadequacy. Use self-compassion to counter shame and self-judgment. Look for conversations with your partner that can build trust and safety, which are foundational to managing jealousy. 3, practice compassionate honesty with your partner. Share your feelings with your partner in a healthy way. Talk with your partner about your feelings. Pam, stop. Without blame. Work together to build trust, which is a key component of healthy relationships. Boost your self-confidence. Insecurities are often at the core of jealousy. Build your confidence and self-esteem. Practice gratitude journaling for the positive aspects of your relationship and your own life. And 4, build your self-confidence. Insecurities are often at the core of jealousy. Build your confidence and self-esteem. Gratitude lists help. Self-celebration helps. Spending time, Pan, the people who see you clearly helps. You're not competing, you're expanding. Jealousy doesn't dissolve with control. It dissolves with clarity, compassion, and connection. With yourself first, and then with the people you love. Takeaway: slow is safe, slow is clear, slow works. More often than not, soothing or curing jealousy is an inside job that requires you to spend some time with yourself before you can address it with your partner.